This is a reading of The Peak of My Heart for the copyright case lawsuit against Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, AMC, Warner Brothers, HBO. A chiropractor's busy office. There are 6 machines spread evenly throughout the stage. All resemble torture devices: a drop piece, a cart table, neck traction table, a balance, the chair, and the adjustment table. At the center right, there is a receptionist desk, and further right, a doctor's office. Christine Kim, a receptionist in her early 30s, Korean with blonde hair and a southern accent, is running all over the stage. She is dressed in a modern white nurse's outfit. The doctor, Richard Cho, is looking at her while biting his lips and leaning on the counter. He is a short, balding man in his 50s with the usual dress of a suit pants and a dress shirt. The stage is bright with the sound of a television on low. Christine finishes setting up an elderly Caucasian man in his 70s robe on the chair, then presses a button. The sound of beeping. Christine, did you hear that? Huh? Yes, Dr. Cho. She runs toward the other end of the stage. Dr. Cho stops her by holding her stomach. Do you notice anything wrong? Christine turns her head and realizes she turned on the wrong machine. The balance is behind is vibrating and not the chair. Oh, sorry. She shuts it off and turns on the correct machine. You didn't see that? I did, just now. It's been how many months? 2? More than 2. 3? 4 months. I'm pretty sure it's only been 2 months and several days, Dr. Cho. Has it? Excuse me, Dr. Cho, I need to get to the patient. Are you going to wash your hands again? Yes. Neurosis popped into my mind on the way home while driving yesterday. I read some things about it, and it surprisingly matched your profile. It talked about OCD, hand washing, etc. I see. Christine unstraps another patient, Beth, a Caucasian brunette female in her 40s from the A cart. This thing is like a torture device. Christine giggles. Yes, it is. You're all set. Next Wednesday? Same time, 4 p.m.? Yes, I might be able to make it at 1, though I'll text. Okay, no problem, Beth. See you next week. The patient exits. Richard says to the patient, Christine washes her hands every minute. The patient chuckles. Rob says, it's good to be clean, I guess. Richard says, yeah, it drives me crazy. Do you want to watch anything on Netflix? Richard picks up the remote and flips through the channels, the sound of the machine stopping. Richard is taking him off the chair. The sound of a phone ringing. Christine rushes and picks up the phone. Hello? Dr. Cho's Chiropractic Center. Richard stares at Christine, who's on the phone. What is it? Someone is looking for Androwski. She spells it out. Andrewovski in the Valley Stream office. Richard grabs the phone from Christine. Hello? The marketing person is speaking inaudibly. Yeah, why don't you do me a favor and take a hike? He hangs up. Christine looks at him, bewildered. Richard says, telemarketer. Richard finishes taking the patient off the chair and pats him on the back. So, Rob, I think you're done. When will you be coming in next? Rob, putting on his coat and taking his big plastic bag. It's going to be the Friday after next. Okay, I have you down for that next week. See you soon. Richard says, I'll see you next Friday, Rob. Rob says, thank you, Dr. Cho. Rob exits. Richard says, so did Beth want to do the program or continue with insurance? She said she just wants to continue with her insurance. Richard says, cheap bitch. Oh, we have a snowboarder coming in, Joe. Snowboarder 30, speaks English like you. He's a loser. He said he has to be driven by his dad here. Scoliosis? Oh, he got into a snowboarding accident and needs treatment. Is that why he can't drive? Oh, you may be right. Maybe you're not so stupid after all. Dr. Cho, may I see them? The pictures? Oh, yeah. She follows him to his computer. Photos flash of Christine as a model behind them. I'm afraid my photo on the highway is going to cause car accidents. I wonder if I have that kind of appeal. Richard says, you know, that may not be a bad thing. I thought of a slogan. A photo of Christine strapped to the A-cart table in a draft slogan reads, Will you come to save me? Call Christine now for Special offer. Christine giggles. Larry was holding his crotch after seeing my photos. I'm not sure if that's a successful campaign. Who's Larry? A boy from church? Church boy, eh? Does he know you have disabilities? Christine is visibly silent. Here, why don't you change here? I'll change in the bathroom. Why not here? Because you'll look? I won't look. I have patients changing here all the time. I'm just gonna change in the bathroom, Dr. Cho. Christine exits the stage wings to change. Let me ask you something. From the stage corridor while changing. Yes, Dr. Cho? Are you a virgin? Do you honestly think I'm a 31-year-old virgin? Yeah, I do. Christine comes out in a swimsuit and suit. Let's try it on the drop piece. He lays her on the drop piece on her side, arranging the pillows. Richard then presses a button, causing the machine to vibrate. Is this too much? No, it's fine. Richard begins taking photos with his camera. Beautiful. You know what would be better? What? If you have no bra underneath. I'm not doing that, Dr. Cho. She exits the stage corridor to change back into her nurse's outfit. Please? From the stage corridor. No! I'll pay you $50. No. The sound of a chime. Joe Mann, a man in his early 30s, enters the stage. Joe is dressed in a thick winter coat and a backpack on his shoulder. Richard sees him. Christine? Christine re-enters the stage in her nursewear. I said no, Dr. Cho. Patient. Hi, Joe. Hello. Welcome to Dr. Cho's chiropractic. Joe says, hi. Well, actually, he says, hi. Christine says, Joe? Joe says, Christine? Richard says, you recognize her from the ads? Joe, a bit flustered. Yeah. I'm gonna go take a look at the x-rays, Richard says. Can you do your job instead of just standing there like an idiot? Christine walks up to her desk and gets a pen. Did you park okay? Joe says, yeah, in front. Christine gulps. There's coffee, tea, hot chocolate, cookies. I'm good. Oh, good. I mean, not my back. Oh, what happened? Well, I was snowboarding on a mountain. I did a high jump on a slope and fell right on my ass. Oh no. Yeah, I felt it right in my spine and my back. Did you have to go to the hospital? Yeah, but I just continued snowboarding for the remaining 2 hours. Christine laughs. That's exactly like you. But now I feel a lot of pain. On your butt? No. On your spine? No. Your back? Joe tears up. Your spine? Christine gets what he means now. Are you in a lot of pain right now? Yeah, I am. Me too. I'm blonde now. Joe laughs. Yeah, I see that. It looks good. Does it? Do you like it? Yeah, it looks great. Oh, shucks. Richard enters. Christine? Yes, doctor. Set the patient up. Christine gains control of herself and gets up from her seat quickly. You never told me what he has, Dr. Cho. S-curve. Christine sniffing. Here, Joe, you can follow me. Christine leads him to the neck traction table and does the setup quickly. You can lay down now. On my back. Joe lays down. Christine finishes setting up his neck and leg. So, let me know if this hurts. She twists the back curve knobs. Is it good? Beautiful. Christine gets embarrassed and turns the neck traction. More? Yeah. Christine leans down and turns it. More? Yeah. Christine leans. Joe says, yeah, you can keep going. Christine leans down more, her lips close to his. More? More. Christine leans down and he kisses her. Christine smiles and kisses him back. Christine says, I have to get back to work, Joe. Let me know if you need anything. I will. Christine goes back to her desk smiling, unable to sit. Richard enters the stage, handing her the card. Make me a copy. Get you a coffee? Oh, make you a copy. Richard shakes his head. Let me show you something, Christine. The screen projector behind them shows the computer screen. On it are x-rays. This is Joe's curve. Christine opens her mouth to let out a surprised reaction. Richard covers her mouth. Have him do the bar after the neck traction. Christine exits to the stage corridor, the sound of running water. Christine begins washing her mouth in the bathroom. Richard goes in front of the door, stage corridor. You're washing your mouth, aren't you? No. Just to let you know, I did wash my hands. Right before I ate, I washed my hands. Christine enters the stage and heads towards Joe. Are you doing okay, Joe? Christine begins changing the neck traction to the bar. We're going out for drinks now? Christine laughs. So, you put your hands in the bar like so? She puts his hands on the bar for him. Richard says, Christine loves drinking, you know. Joe says, yeah, I know. Christine says to Richard, maybe I should take him up on his offer. Richard glares at Christine, back hunched, feet evenly apart. Christine! Yes, Dr. Cho. Which leg are you supposed to pull if he has an S-curve? Which leg? Richard goes to the machine and quickly undoes Joe's left leg, strapping in the right one. I have to explain this to you 1,000,000 times? It's all right, Doc. Do you mind if we use you as a dummy for her stupidity? She's not stupid. Everyone has to learn. Joe, I'm going to prepare and show you your x-rays when you're done with all the setups. Thanks, Doc. Joe says. Richard exits. If I take you out, are you going to end up next to a fire hydrant on dog piss like in New Orleans? Like in Orleans. Joe laughs. Christine is hurt and flabbergasted. I've grown, Joe. It's been 10 years. And you? All those girls you flirt with, is it gonna be like that? Well, what was I supposed to not have any human contact, Christine? Not like that, you bastard, showing more love to strangers than me. I was faithful, Christine. You have some damn control issues. Yeah, right. The machine stops. People break up for a reason. Between you and me, there's just pain. And stay broken up. Joe begins to get up. So, you get on your right side in order to prevent back strain? Christine holds his head up and legs. Joe holds his smile and gets up from the table. Dr. Cho enters. Richard says, Christine, after you're done with the setup, get me Marie's insurance info. Not a problem. Dr. Cho exits. Christine leads Joe to the chair. This is the chair. Cool. So you can take a seat here. She pulls out a footrest and cranks the machine, strapping his neck and body in. She touches his spine and searches for the peak. Christine touching his back. I'm just trying to find your peak. Joe says, peak? The highest point of your curve. I have to find your peak in order to fix it. Like the peak of a mountain. When I snowboard, I try to find the peak. Don't you just take a lift and press the button to get to the top of the mountain? Well, yeah, but I have to find the lift. Christine laughs. The rush when I'm up there, there is nothing like it. Christine begins cranking the machine. Let me know when to stop. That's good. Are you sure? Yeah. She takes a black strap and begins tightening it under his armpits. He sees the cross on her neck. Do you still believe in Jesus? Oh, you evangelized me, you know. She takes out a yellow strap and fastens his hip. Christine looking up at him. I'll always love God. I won't cry for many things, but I'll cry for God. She begins tightening the neck. You were always a bit cold. Christine pulls on the string harder. Too tight. Good. She loosens it and tightens it. She turns on the machine, a loud whirring sound. Christine goes to her desk and gets a folder, entering Dr. Cho's office. Lights on Dr. Cho's office to the far right. So Maria has a $2,500 deductible and a $25 copay and 30 visits per calendar year. Richard says, come here. Christine tries to get away 3 times, but Richard tugs on her arm closer each time. Dr. Cho! Richard says, you have to have it, don't you? You get all jittery if you don't. What? Alcohol? No. Yes, you do. You're an alcoholic. Christine laughs. I'm not. You most definitely are. An alcoholic is someone who drinks alone. So is it red wine again today? Dr. Cho, I have to take care of the patient. She leaves to tend to Joe. Dr. Cho walks ahead in front of her. He begins cranking up the machine. Richard to Joe. A little more, no more? That's good. The chair stops whirring. Richard, taking the neck contraption off, accidentally hits him on the head with it. This works. Are you okay? Joe stares behind him at the doctor glaringly. Yeah. Richard, unstrapping the remaining straps. So you're done for the day. When are you free for more treatment? Joe says, you know what, Doc? I don't know if I'll be coming back. Christina is visibly disappointed. But you need treatment, Joe. Yeah, I do. Okay, well, Richard says, well, you can call or text to let us know whether you'll be receiving further treatment. Will do, Joe says. Richard, to Christine, collect 150. Christine to Joe, that'll be... Joe takes 150 out of his wallet. So long, Christine. Bye, Joe. Joe exits. Richard says, you know there's happy hour from 4 to 7 at Ochenta Cinque. Do you like apple martinis? I've never tried. Do you want to? Sure. The lights fade. Joe's house. Joe and his mother are on stage. Joe is laying on a couch. Ma, I can't move. I can't do anything. It's your second... Joe's mom says, it's your second accident. Joe says, I want to die. Joe's mom, why? Joe says, because of my butt. My butt hurts. And my tailbone. He groans. Joe's mom, Joe, it'll be okay. Just go and soak your butt. Joe says, I can't do anything. I'm decrepit. I'm gone. I can't snowboard anymore. I can't pursue my passion. What is life without passion? Joe's mom says, well, go to that doctor then. Joe says, look, Mom, I'm fine. The doctor just discovered I have scoliosis, too. Joe's mom says, well, he can fix it, can't he? Didn't he win all sorts of prizes? Isn't he one of the best chiropractors in the country? Yeah, but... Joe's mom says, then go get it fixed. Flat on the curve. Joe says, Mom... Joe's mom says, do I have to pull your ear into that office? Joe says, it's just that... What? Well, Christine is there. Christine? Christine who? My ex-girlfriend Christine, Mom, from New Orleans. You guys dated? Only about a year. Remember you yelled at her I had to pull you back and say, Mom, Mom? Yes, and I had to smack you on the back of your neck. You left a bruise, too. You were shivering like a mouse. Well, yes, that Christine. Oh, she's in New Jersey now. Yes, Mom. I see. I never liked her. I know, Mom. Well, I'll have to take a look for myself. No, Mom. I'll go and get treatment. You just stay home. I want to get better. I want to snowboard. Why? So that I'll be good enough. You'll only hurt yourself again. What's the point of living if you don't take risks for what you love? Alright, but why don't you go soak your butt first? The lights shut off. The lights open to a restaurant, a table with 2 apple martinis. Richard shakes with 2 martini glasses. Richard shakes the martini shaker and pours them each glass. Did you know there's 25% alcohol in an appletini? Christine reading the menu. Oh, is there? A waitress enters. She is in her 40s with blonde hair. Alright, are you guys ready? Oh, there's crab cake. Richard to the waitress. She's from New Orleans. Waitress says, is crab cake a thing there? Christine says, it's a Maryland crab cake. Waitress says, alright, sweetie. So a Maryland crab cake. Richard says, clams for me. Waitress says, okay. It'll be ready in 5 minutes. The waitress exits. Richard says, you know what animal you remind me of? A cat. Very cold and distant. Except when you need something. Then you act all sweet. Christine laughs. Well, that's why you have a dog. My dog Bora, when I come home, she runs up to me every time, like this. He stands up and begins panting with his hands to his chest like a dog, then sits back down. I can't stand cats. Christine is silent. So what's the story with you and Joe? Christine takes a sip. What do you mean? You don't think I overheard your conversation? It's okay. I don't think he's coming back. It's what he does. She takes another sip. He runs away. Richard says, I'm not surprised. You know, you look okay from the outside, but as soon as someone gets to know you, they say to themselves. Richard's eyes get a little crazy and threatening. Something's wrong with her. Is that your assessment, doctor? You have mental problems, Richard says. You wouldn't be able to last in a job anywhere else. You're lucky that you're still working for me. Christine takes another sip. Richard says, still thinking about that snowboarder? Silence. Richard says, I hate my wife. I've been trying to divorce her for a while now. Christine takes another sip. And your son? Richard says, I don't love my son either. Just the other day, I threw an egg at his face. I got a phone call from his school that he's doing pot again. I was so mad, he gets up and reenacts it. I just grabbed anything I could in front of me, and there were these hard-boiled eggs, so I took one and I threw it at his face. Christine is silent. Richard says, you're a bit quiet. Christine says, oh, I just have nothing to say. The lights shut off. Joe's house. Joe enters in a wheelchair. I don't need this wheelchair, Mom. Just do as I tell you. You're not going to get any better like this. Why did you have to get up on that mountain? Because it's my passion and my dream. I don't regret it. You don't regret ending up like this, 34 years old, and I have to take care of you. It should be the opposite. You were even trained by that Olympic snowboarder. I know, Mom. I wish I was a better son to you. I like taking care of you. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Joe. She kisses his forehead. They exit. The lights spread out to the chiropractic center. Christine enters the stage with Richard in a drunken stupor. I have a question, doctor. You can ask me anything. No, you're going to take it personally. I won't. Yes, you will. You are going to take it personally, but it's just something I've been curious about. Christine, I promise I won't take it personally. Yes, please don't. Please do not. What's your question? Have you and your wife ever on the machines? Richard opens his mouth wide. Wow, Christine, just wow. I know, I'm sorry, but I had to ask. No, never. She's not that adventurous. Never? Out of all the years you've been married? Never. Wow. Why? Is that your fantasy? See, Dr. Cho, I told you not to take it personally, and you're taking it personally. I am not. You're staring at me funny. I'm staring at you like I always stare at you. Dr. Cho, this has nothing to do with what I just asked, but can I receive treatment for my scoliosis? Which machine? The arm pulling one? Richard goes to the traction table and sets it up. Christine follows. Here, lie down. Christine lays down. Richard straps her left arm and legs to the table and starts the machine. A brrr sound as the machine moves up and down. Richard sits on the machine as it moves. Christine begins falling off and slurring. Dr. Cho, should I put on some lipstick? Richard laughs. You know, for another photo shoot. You want to take a photo shoot like this while you're drunk? I'm not drunk. Christine falls off the machine. Oh, you're slipping. Ow, my neck! My neck! Richard stops the machine, unstraps her legs and arm, and takes her off the machine. This is probably not a good idea while you're intoxicated. Yeah. Christine begins to walk away, but Richard pulls her in passive-aggressively. Is this okay? Christine laughs and pushes him away, swerving left and right to avoid him. Richard pulls her in again and begins kissing her ear. Is this okay? Christine pushes him away. Dr. Cho, you're like a father to me, nothing more. Richard says, you already have a father. He tries again as she laughs and walks away, taking a seat. Richard says, you should call a taxi. You're fired. Why? What do you mean, why? You don't know how to do your damn job. You're not at the level I need you to be at. Constantly causing problems. Go back to the popcorn factory. But what about my scoliosis? Do you have $2,000? No. Then forget about it. Pack your stuff up and go. Christine grabs her bag and goes to leave. I'll see you at 10 a.m., okay? Christine exits. The lights darken. Spotlight on Joe as he enters the stage saying a monologue. My mother forced me to come. No. He smiles really wildly in a cheesy fashion, facing the audience. Christine enters from behind him. Hi, Christine. Hi, Joe. He jumps. You're here. You're late. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't sure whether I was going to come. The doctor isn't in yet, is he? The doctor enters cheerily. Hi, Joe. You're back? Hi, Doc. My mother said you're the best in town, so always a mama's boy. The doctor plays modest, waving his hand in the air. Well, I am one of the only two who does the Schroth method. Who's the other? My brother. We were some of the last students of the Schroth method when they banned it from the chiropractic schools. Which school? Life University. Good thing, too. Come over here, Joe. Why don't you follow me? Richard leads Joe to the traction table. Why don't you lay down for me? Joe lays down. Richard says to Christine, set him up. The doctor goes to his office. Christine straps Joe's left arm, then goes to do his legs. She stops and thinks. Joe raises and taps his right leg. Christine smiles and straps his right leg. The doctor returns. Richard says, you know, Christine was receiving treatment on this last night. Christine is angry, trying to keep her voice down. Dr. Cho. Dr. Cho chuckles. The machine starts. What? Can we please speak in the other room for a second? Richard says, why? You know why. Richard follows Christine to the x-ray room. Christine's x-rays flash on the screen projector in the back. These are your x-rays, Richard says. Look at this improvement. Do you want me to measure the degrees for you? How? Richard says, it looks like the treatment I'm doing for your spine is working. Thank you, Dr. Cho. She looks down. But what I wanted to talk to you about was last night. As my boss, I feel like I can't say no to you. You should have then. You should have said no or stop. I had to go home wiping your spit off my ear, Scared to go to work out of the fear of being raped. Richard laughs. Do you want me to rape you? Christine laughs sarcastically. No. Richard is suddenly defensive. So what? You're gonna sue me? You think I didn't protect myself? I'll put you in a mental institution. You'll never get out. Dr. Cho, what are you talking about? I know this woman who worked in a doctor's office. The doctor sent her to a mental hospital. She worked in a doctor's office. Dr. Cho's eyes get wide. Yeah, she was my wife's friend, and she keeps calling my wife from time to time saying, Hey, Annie, you have to get me out of here. You have to tell them I'm sane. So what does that have to do with me, Dr. Cho? Your mental issues. Dr. Cho, I'm sorry if I led you on, but I can't ever be in love with you. I have to go check on the patient. Christine goes to Joe. Are you doing okay, Joe? Joe is on the machine, teary-eyed after overhearing a conversation between Richard and Christine. He's gaslighting you. You heard? Joe is still lying down. Yeah. What's that, Joe? What's gaslighting? He's trying to make you think you're crazy so he can take advantage of you. Oh. Richard stares at the computer screen, a crazy, faraway look in his eye, almost sad but intent. Richard walks over to the middle of the stage. I'm gonna get something in my car. Joe says sternly, Okay. Richard says to Christine, Aren't you asking me what I'm getting, Christine? What are you getting? My gun. Richard laughs. So I can shoot you. Christine laughs. Joe says, Is he serious? Richard says, Do you shoot, Joe? Joe says, Yeah, sometimes. Richard says, I was at the shooting range the other day with my son, and the force of the gun I had to take a step back. What is it called? Blowback? He makes a gun shooting motion, taking a step back. Kick back. Yeah, anyways, I'll see you in a bit. Take care of the patient. Yes, doctor. Richard takes his keys out of his pocket and exits the stage. You can file harassment charges against him, you know? The machine stops. Christine takes Joe off the machine, unstrapping his arms and legs, and begins walking off towards the drop case. You can follow me. Joe remains laying down. How do I get up again? On my right side? Christine stares at him for a bit. Joe remains laying down. Here. She walks towards him. So you lie down on your right side. She holds his neck and his legs, helping him up. And push up. Like so. Joe pushes himself up and gets off the traction table. He walks off in front of her, smirking. Thank you. No problem, Joe. So we're going to do the Eckhart table now? Which way are we going? That way. She leads him to the Eckhart table and puts a paper towel on the headpiece. Lie face down. Joe is amused. Already? Lie face down. He lies down and straps him in the machine, quickly cranking up the tightness. You're being very aggressive with me, Christine. I kind of like it. Christine laughs. A squeal almost. Shut up, Joe! She cranks up the tightness. Are you making moves on me? Yes, Joe, I want you. She turns on the machine and goes to exit. Joe says, Christine? Yes, Joe? Can you make everything tighter? She tightens one. Let me know when to stop. Joe says, That's good. And this one? Yeah, Joe says. Is there any discomfort or pain? No, I'm good. Let me know if you need anything, Joe. You got it. Christine is working at the desk. Richard enters with some papers and puts his foot up at the end of the desk next to Christine. Christine glances to the side of her. Dr. Cho, why are you doing that? Richard throws some of the papers on the desk. Check the benefits. Dr. Cho, look, the table is fallen. Oh. Richard removes his foot. Oh yeah, the table isn't very sturdy, is it? He grabs the table with his hand, shaking it. Well, not with you putting all your weight on it. Check the benefits, Richard says. Christine begins typing on the computer. Christine turns towards Joe. Joe, are you doing okay? Joe gives a thumbs up. Christine smiles. The machine beeps. Richard says, never mind, I'll do it. Richard sits at the desk, checking the benefits. Christine goes to Joe and unstraps him. He gets up. How was that? Not bad. We're gonna do the drop paste now. They go to the drop piece and she sets it up. You can lay down now. Joe accidentally slides off the drop piece while sitting himself up and grabbing the rolling chair, but Christine carries him. Oh, careful, careful. It's okay, I got it. She is still carrying him. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Good. Maybe I should remove this rolling chair. It isn't stable. She puts it on the side. Out of breath. Yeah. Good idea, Joe says. Sorry, can you just stand up? I need to feel your spine. He stands up, tall and statuesque, as she feels his spine. I swear, I never thought you'd be my nurse. I was always nursing you, you know. I told you I've grown. You still look like a baby. I got a little worn around the face, though. No? Around the eyes? Nah. Christine laughs. Well, it's good genes, I guess. Do you like this job? Yes. Why? I like helping people. That's why I like this job. I get to help people. Except don't tell anyone, but I kind of hate my boss. They laugh. Your secret's safe with me. How's your mom? She still hates you. Christine tries to laugh. So this should loosen up this curve. You should lay down on your left side here. She sets him up and gives him a pillow and a back pillow. Where's your towel? Oh, I'll just get you a new one. It's alright. She puts a new towel on his pillow. So you lay down here. I'm just gonna shut the lights off and you can take a nap. She goes to shut the lights off. Let me know if you need anything, Joe. You? She smiles and shuts the lights off. The lights turn on. Richard says, Come here. Christine follows Dr. Cho to the office. What was that? He grabs her arm forcefully. She glares at him. Stop that! Richard releases her and changes his expression. You have no social skills. Is that what you wanted to tell me? Richard says, I don't think you'll ever change. I used to be like that. I had a disability. What was it? Richard says, No, I'm not going to say. It's embarrassing. What? Stuttering? Richard opens his eyes wide. How did you know? You stutter sometimes. You can hear it? Just a bit. See the way I overcame my disability? You need to overcome yours. The machine beeps. Richard goes to Joe. Okay, Joe, you're all set. Joe and the doctor walk center stage. Joe says, Here you go. He takes $150 out of his pocket and hands it to Christine. Christine puts it in the cash box. When will you be coming back? Is tomorrow okay? Christine smiles. Sure, Joe. They stare at each other for a long time. See you tomorrow, Joe. Joe says, Bye, Doc. Christine says, Bye, Joe. Joe waves goodbye to Christine and goes to exit. Christine says, Joe? Joe turns around. Christine smiles. Never mind. I'll see you tomorrow, Christine. See you tomorrow, Joe. Richard begins shutting the lights off. It's 2 o'clock. Put the sign up. We'll have Mediterranean today and your glass of red wine. The stage lights go out. The projection of a view from a mountain. Joe enters in a wheelchair and closes his eyes. The projection shows a POV cam of Joe snowboarding, diving across the snow, jumping, sliding, passing heaps of trees. It's definitely an experience. And then the top of the mountain, and then Joe's view from the mountain. Joe opens his eyes and gets up. The lights shut off, and Joe exits. Christine and Richard enter. The stage lights a restaurant table and a magnificent view of the river from the restaurant on the projection screen behind. 2 glasses of red wine are on the table. Christine stares out at the window toward the view, a bit of tristesse as Joe is gone. Richard says, "You know, I used to be such a geek. Did you know that?" Christine hesitates and says nothing. "You know what happened in class one time? This is in college. It was the first day of class, and this girl, she was looking for a place to sit, and guess where she sat?" Richard opens his eyes wide. Richard says slowly, "She sat right next to me." Quickly. "She sat next to me and she asked whether I wanted to go to a concert, and guess what I told her? I said, 'Why don't you go ask him?' And I pointed to the guy behind me. Can you believe it?" He smacks his forehead. "I was such an idiot. I still regret it to this day. I'm so stupid. I was such a geek. I was shy, that's why. I didn't know how to talk to girls, but now I know." "Are you sure about that?" Christine stares at Richard. Christine says, "Can I ask you a question?" Richard says, "What is it?" "Are you a nice person? Are you a good person?" "Well, that's a stupid question. I don't think about that." "Why not?" "Because I don't have to. I mean, I never received any bad reviews." "But do you think you are?" Richard looks teary-eyed. "Sometimes I think you're kind and a good person." "Are you?" Richard says, "It doesn't matter." Christine says, "It does to me." Richard says, "Well, I can be nice and give you some treatment later today." Christine looks down. "Thank you, doctor." Richard says, "I'm glad your parents are still in New Orleans." Christine starts laughing. "Do you know what my friend told me?" Richard says, "What?" "Never mind." "No, tell me." "No, I won't say." "Then don't say it." Pause. "Are you telling her about what's going on in the office?" "What do you mean?" "You have no manners. You don't know what's what. When to keep things private. Did you tell her about your stupidity?" "Dr. Cho, let's just forget about it. I was stupid to mention it." "Then learn to keep your mouth shut." "Richard." "Dr. Cho." "Dr. Cho, I don't think I want. Finish your wine." "No, I don't want any more." "That's $9 wine." Christine picks up her wine glass and slowly finishes her wine. The lights shut off at the restaurant and open to the office. Richard says, "Come on, let's do your treatment." He leads her to the traction table. Christine takes her coat, hat, and scarf off and follows Richard to the table. Richard does her neck, straps her leg, and turns the machine on. A whirring sound as the machine moves horizontally. He leans on the other machine. Richard says, "I don't like myself, I'm not happy with myself." "Why not?" "I know I'm old and I don't have hair on the top of my head." "When did you start losing your hair?" "At around 30. "Is there a reason?" Richard shrugs. "Genetics." "Is that why you're not happy with yourself?" "Some people just aren't happy with themselves." Richard heads towards the office. A whirring sound of a hand-held machine. It resembles a saw. Richard begins work on the brace. Suddenly he believes he hears something. He rushes towards Christine with the saw. Christine is terrified. Dr. Cho seems angry. Richard, pointing the machine towards Christine as it whirs, "Did you hear that?" "Hear what, Dr. Cho?" "You didn't hear that?" He comes closer with the weapon. I didn't hear anything, Dr. Cho." "Are you sure? You didn't hear the phone?" He encroaches her with the weapon. Dr. Cho, calm, but Christine is calm but terrified. "Dr. Cho, what are you doing?" "Cutting the brace." "Oh." He heads towards the office to finish cutting the brace. The traction machine stops. The whirring machine stops. Richard gets a towel and rushes towards Christine, smothering her with the towel. "Die!" Christine bursts out into laughter. Dr. Cho! Dr. Cho stops smothering her. I'm planning my attack. Dr. Cho unstraps her from the machine. They walk toward the Eckhart table. How am I compared to that snowboarder? Oh, you can't compare to Joe. So you do like me. I'm not so bad, right? You are. But you like me? No, not at all. Lie down. She lies down on the machine as he straps and fondles her on the machine. He turns the machine on. The machine moves up and down. Ow, Dr. Cho, I can't breathe. What did you say, stupid? I said I... He loosens the bottom strap. Here. He asks. The one on the top. He loosens the top strap. Now that Joe has entered the picture, I realize how terrified and lonely I am when I'm with you. It's your mental health issue. It's like I'm providing you a safe haven from the outside because you can't function normally on your own and others shun you. I'm just curious, Dr. Cho. About what? Do you have any friends? No, I don't. You say it like you're so proud. I'm not proud of it. Dr. Cho says, I'm not proud of it. I mean, I have patience. I see. The machine beeps. Come on, I'm gonna adjust you. She goes into the back room as he follows. And he follows. She lays face down. Dr. Cho takes a massage gun and whirs it at her. Richard with the massage gun. You go crazy again and it's over. I won't. The sound of the whirring as he uses his massage gun on her back. He goes to adjust her neck. Richard says, relax. Dr. Cho, I'm scared. Why? What if you try to kill me? Well, you could crack my neck dead. Richard laughs. You watch way too many movies. Taking her neck in his hands. Now relax. Christine lifts her head as he goes to adjust. But what if you crack my neck wrong? First of all, the proper term is adjust. Never say crack. He adjusts her neck. A loud popping sound. Relax. She closes her eyes. He adjusts her neck the other way. A loud popping sound. Sit up. He uses the machine gun on her neck, putting his hand on her forehead. Thank you. The light shut off. Richard exits. Christine changes into a modern red nurse's outfit and does her lipstick looking in the mirror as the stage light turns on. Richard enters. You're here early. Lipstick? You never put on lipstick. Are you getting all dolled up for me? No. Joe enters. Richard. Oh, hey, Joe. Christine puts her makeup away quickly. Good morning, Joe. Joe says seductively, Hey, Christine. Richard says, Get me some coffee. Christine hands Richard his mug. Here you go. He looks at it and closes his eyes and opens them calmly. Did you poison my drink? I only put a little bit of arsenic. Richard laughs. Why don't you come here for me, Joe? We're going to do some balance. Richard grabs the bar as Christine hands Richard the materials. Why don't you turn around for me, Joe? Joe turns around. So did you guys meet in New Orleans? Yeah. Richard places the bar over Joe's head. Careful. Christine says, He's putting the bar over your head. Richard says, Get me a strap and pad. Christine hands Richard a strap and pad as Richard fastens it on him. Richard says, Was she working at the popcorn factory there? Is that how you guys met? Joe says, Oh, we met on Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday, how's that? She threw me a necklace of beads from the balcony. I still have it. You too? Yeah. Richard presses on the balance ball. You can step on, Joe. Joe steps on the ball. Richard says to Christine, 10 minutes. Christine turns on the machine for 10 minutes. Joe says, But then every day was Mardi Gras for us in New Orleans. Christine stops smiling. I went to New Orleans once, Joe says. How was it? Oh, I almost got killed. What happened? Richard becomes very animated reenacting the scene. Well, I was alone and there were these two black guys and they started following me and I could hear one in the back whispering, "Shoot him." Yeah, it's dangerous in New Orleans. Yeah, he was like whispering loudly, "Shoot him." Really? Really? What did you do? Oh, I just acted like I didn't hear them. Oh, because if you start running, he'll shoot you? Like a bear that attacks if you run? Richard shrugs it off. Yeah. Wow. Richard says, give me a 10-pound weight. Yeah, people these days. I'm sorry you had such a bad experience. Christine gets a 10-pound weight and puts it at the end of the bar. Ah. Is that too heavy? Nah, it's alright, Joe says. I'm thinking of going back. Maybe Christine can come with me. Dr. Cho. Or not. It doesn't matter. Dr. Cho says quickly. I can go by myself. Christine starts coughing while covering her mouth. Excuse me. She goes to the other room and has to grab the counter. Her coughing turns into a fit. Richard gets a cup of water for her. Christine, are you okay? She takes the water, drinking, unable to finish before coughing some more. The machine beeps. Christine goes to take care of Joe. Richard says, "It's okay, you can take a seat." Richard steps on the balance. "Step down for me, Joe." Joe says, "Are you okay, baby?" Joe realizes his mistake. Christine reacts. Richard takes the weight off and releases Joe from the bar. You know where Christine has been? Wuhan, China. I have not. Joe laughs. Are you okay? Yeah. Joe says, "Hey, Doc, I have to leave a bit early today." Oh, sure thing, Joe. Why? I'm going to the mountains. Why don't you do some chair before you leave? To Christine. Set him up. I need to check on some x-rays. Richard exits and Christine sets him up. You're going to the mountains? Yeah, I think I'm ready to hit the slopes again. Isn't that dangerous, Joe? I mean, in your condition? Nah, I'll be fine. Don't worry, Christine. I am worried, Joe. I still care about you. You do? Always. Aren't you scared of going back after getting hurt so many times? Always. Well, then why do you do it? Do what? Why do you keep going back only to get hurt again? Because I have to. Because it makes me happy. If I didn't fall on my ass, I probably would have never made it here to see you, Joe ponders. It's my passion and my dream. I mean, what's the point of living without a dream? But yeah, it's scary. I might get hurt again. Christine touches his spine to find the peak. I think I'm all healed. The doctor said my x-rays have shown drastic improvement. When will we be back? I'm not sure. Oh. Are you coming back? I don't know, Christine. Well, don't you want to go and get some drinks before you leave? I don't think that's a good idea, Christine. Christine starts crying behind him. Joe is emotional. This is embarrassing. I don't know why I can't find it. Find what? The peak? Do you need me to take my sweater off? He goes to take his hoodie off. No, it's okay, Joe. Richard enters. What are you doing, Christine? Just set him up. Do I have to do everything myself around here? Why does it take you forever to do each setup? It's alright, Doc. I have time. Richard pushes Christine to the side and finishes the setup. Richard says to Christine, 15 minutes. Christine turns the machine on, a whirring noise. Richard to Christine, come here. Richard enters the X-ray room and Christine follows. I'm sorry, I'm a bit off today, Doctor. I'm not feeling well. Richard stares at her for a bit. Do you want to go to Iceland with me? They're holding a chiropractic seminar there. No, doctor, I don't want to go anywhere with you. There. Richard says there's beer spas, a great view, you can do some modeling there. Do I get to have my own hotel room? No. Well, I'm sorry, I can't. The machine stops working. Christine goes to take Joe off the machine. She unstraps him. Joe says, Christine? Yes, Joe. Never mind. She finishes unstrapping him and goes to her desk and takes a seat. Joe looks like he's going to cry, leaving. Bye, Christine. Goodbye, Joe. Christine looks down, teary-eyed, in the office, alone. Christine goes to the x-ray room. Christine says, Dr. Joe, I'm not feeling well. May I please lie down for a bit? Richard says, yeah. Christine lies down on the adjustment table. Richard sets off the lights. The stage lights go dark. Joe enters with a blanket. Spotlight on the adjustment table and Christine. Joe looks at Christine sleeping and approaches her. Joe's face and presence glistens with a white light. Are you cold? Do you need a blanket? Joe? He tucks her in. Christine is having trouble breathing. Joe, I'm sorry about everything. I'm sorry about New Orleans. I'm sorry about my alcohol addiction. I'm sorry for being such a jealous, possessive bitch. It's because I love you, you know? You're my man. You'll always be my man to me. It's okay, Christine. I forgive you. You do? Yeah. Let's forget about the past, Christine. Joe, I think I'm done. What if it's the coronavirus? We'll die together. Joe kisses her passionately. The kiss begins to turn violent. The lights go dark. What? Joe? Christine realizes it's Richard hovering over her in the dark, nightmarish, almost. Spotlight on Richard and Christine. We'll die together. Richard is cradling her in his arms and forcefully kisses her. She rejects him with her face. Richard sticks his tongue down her throat, rubbing her breasts and buttocks with a famished and feverish hunger. Richard bites her lips. And Christine yelps in pain, unable to move due to sickness, too tired to move. She gives in, resembling a deer in a lion's mouth. The stage lights go dark. The lights open to Christine and Richard in the office as per usual. Richard says, I'm happy with myself. Dr. Cho, can I slap you? Why? Just because. Sure. I can? Yeah, go ahead. Just don't leave a mark. Christine slaps him. Ow! That hurt. Oh, that did? Can I do it again? Go ahead. She slaps him and slaps him and slaps him. Wait, stop. Why are you doing that? Why do you think? She calms down, holding her breath. Richard starts laughing and grabbing his cheek and walks away. I feel sorry for you. A beautiful girl with disabilities. Christine begins laughing maniacally. Richard says, What's so funny? Nothing. The sound of a chime. Joe enters. Richard says, Oh, hey, Joe. Christine doesn't flinch. Richard says to Christine, neck traction on the wall. You can follow me, Joe. Christine has trouble walking in her shoes around the office. Christine leads Joe to a bar on the wall attached to a rope. She places a towel on it and places the bar around his neck. She pulls the rope. Why'd you come back? I don't know. Christine grabs his waist from behind, helping Joe move up and down. Up and down, 100 times. She leaves and goes to her desk. Richard says, You're saying you're not making moves on me? That you're not teasing me? What about the slap? You think I was teasing you with the slap? Yeah. If you interpret that as teasing. Richard goes ballistic. Fuck you. Fuck you and your mental problems. When I fit you for the brace, we have to do the required. You have to take naked back pictures. I have to measure every inch of your body. Christine laughs. Joe grits his teeth, getting angrier as he moves up and down the neck traction on the wall. Richard says, I'm gonna get some files in the car. Richard exits. Joe takes the rope off and approaches Christine. Christine goes to Joe. Done? Are you okay? I don't know. He keeps pissing me off. Why do you let this happen to yourself? Christine remains silent. You know what I see when I look at your ads? The projection shows ads of Christine. Look at this restrained girl. She's so happy and doesn't realize she's miserable. That's the message I get. Well, some of us will never be free, and we have to accept that. No, we don't. I need somebody to fix me, Joe. Why don't you fix me? Christine. Why don't you fix me? Please fix me, Joe. I'm lost. I'm scared and I'm crying, but no tears are coming out. Why didn't you fix me? Why didn't you come, Joe? Why hasn't anybody ever been there for me? Why? Fix me, Joe, please. Fix me. Fix me. No, just fix me. No. Christine grabs her head and hair with both of her hands. Fix you? Christine, look at me. I can't even fix myself. It's not my job to fix you. How can I fix you when I can't even fix myself? Why don't you do something? Why don't you say something? Because I've learned not to. I've been through too much. I'm 31 years old and I'm acting like this. I want to slap myself sometimes. I didn't remember you. I forgot all about you. I didn't remember a single reason as to why I loved you, but then you show up here and keep showing up, and I start to remember, and I started a drink because of you. I have sinned, but I will not sin again. When? When did you start to drink? Because to me, you were always drinking. I can't be responsible for you, Christine. I have problems too. I'm just as scared as you about my life. You have to fix yourself. Joe walks a bit and then faces Christine. You don't even know how I feel about you. I never felt I was good enough for you. What? I keep coming back because I still have feelings for you. Well, why didn't you tell me? And to be here like this in front of you all this time with a broken back and broken dreams. I can't snowboard. I can't do anything. It's embarrassing. I smile because of you. I cried for you. I get excited by you. And you're so beautiful. It hurts. It hurts me, damn it. Well, why didn't you tell me, Joe? If you told me, I wouldn't have been so heartbroken. I wouldn't have. Hey, it's okay. Come here. He hugs her until she stops crying. You make me want to go on a time machine. Do you want to meet me in New Orleans? Let's go, yes? I don't know you, but okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Eyes closed. Can we go on a time machine? Why the time machine? I wasn't mean to you. You weren't mean to me. You were very sweet. Please, Joe, let's go on a time machine. We can go back in time. We can. Richard enters with some files. Somebody slashed my tires. Joe says, somebody slashed your tires? Richard to Joe, did you slash my tires? Richard laughs. Joe says, you have some serious enemies. Dr. Cho, why are you throwing around false accusations? Richard says to Christine, it was you, wasn't it? No. Then who was it? I don't know, Dr. Cho. Richard says to Joe, come on, let's get you adjusted. Back room. Joe follows Dr. Cho to the back room and lays face down. Dr. Cho gets his massage gun ready, a whirring sound, and uses it on Joe. I know your tactics. It's not going to work. Tactics. Gaslighting. Gaslighting. She's stronger than you think she is. The machine gun stops whirring. How do you know my tactics haven't already worked? What do you mean? Richard folds one of Joe's legs and then grabs Joe's back. Breathe in. Joe breathes in. Breathe out. Joe exhales and Richard cracks his back. Joe screams out in pain. A word of advice. Breathe in. Joe inhales in severe pain. His expression and sound is as if someone shot him. You really shouldn't make accusations against someone who has your life in his hands. Richard cracks Joe's back. Joe screams out in pain. There. All done. Joe gets up. It might be your snowboarding injuries, but according to the x-rays, you're fine. You can leave now. Joe goes to leave. Christine, I'm going. I'm not coming back. I understand. Joe exits. Richard says, fill the coffee cups. Richard goes to the x-ray room. Christine gets up and starts filling the coffee cups with tears in her eyes. I had a different ending for the stage version. But this is the movie version. The sound of someone opening the door behind her. She turns around with tears in her eyes. It's Joe. Joe says, let's go. Joe grabs her hand. Christine says, wait! My bag! And coat! Joe grabs her bag and coat from under her desk. Richard comes out of the x-ray room. Richard says, Christine? Christine turns around. Where are you going? To the peak of my heart. Triumphant music plays as the lights close and opens to the projection screen of a mountain top. So in the stage version, he's gonna leave her in the office, and she's gonna ask him, where are you going? And he's gonna say, not to the peak of my heart. And she's gonna say, yeah, me neither. Something like that. So this is the Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, I believe AMC, Warner Brothers, HBO lawsuit for the court. Thank you.